Friday, happy hour time. Everybody's getting out of work. Let's go get some beers. We're at a place called Lauderale. They got beer flights, they got exotic stuff, like 30 things on tap. Come on, let me show you. All right, baby, I told you we were drinking beers today. What I got? The lineup, at least my lineup. So when you go to a brewery, if it's a good brewery, you have the opportunity to get flights. Now, flights, basically, they give you a couple ounces in a glass. They're not normal size. They're a little bit more restrained, but you can sample pretty much all of them. Some people like to make it a feat of strength to sample them all. I would say take an Uber back in that case. Either way, it's a fun time, especially for people that enjoy beer, they like talking about it, or you just like something to unwind at the end of a hard week. This is the place for you. Now, there's a couple different options here. So I picked 1, Heisenberg, 2, hello, my name is Brett, 3, Black Mamba, 4, the Mangö Kölsch. This is cool, it gives you the whole idea of kind of like a nautical theme here in the background, the whole aviation quality with the propellers. That's their theme. What's cool, when you get the flight, it's got the same thing going on. All right, baby, let's dive in. Let's drink some beer, right? So, pick your favorite. Now, what I'm gonna hit you with right out the gate, a pro tip. Now, the pro tip, you're gonna wanna start with the lighter stuff, move your way into the heavier stuff. So, a good rule of thumb is the more transparent it is and light, the lighter it is. So, use that as a rule of thumb. You'll be good in most cases. There are a couple exceptions, but I think that's the way to go. We're starting off with the Heisenberg. For all my Breaking Bad fans out there, you gotta get this, if only for the name. Let's see. So generally you want to give it a little smell to start off with. Check out that little lacy foam on top. It's light, it's delicate. You see the bubbles slightly rising over here. A little bit of perspiration on the outside of the glass, but we're in Fort Lauderdale. It's humid outside. Literally, it was just raining a couple minutes ago, so that's gonna happen. Let's take a little sippies. Let's take a little sippy sips. Now, another rule of thumb, when you're sampling alcohol and like you went the whole day without drinking any alcohol, do not judge the first sip. Slosh it around a little bit, take a sip, swallow, and then go for the second one, and that's when you can start playing the judgment game. So the Heisenberg is actually a Hefeweizen. It's a German-style white Hefeweizen. It's light, it's clear. Generally, Hefeweizens have an unfiltered quality to them. This one's one of the lightest ones I've ever seen. Now, it's super light, it's very crisp, it's very refreshing, but it's got a lot of flavors going on in it as well. So when you start to smell it, there's a little bit of a bubblegum tone, which is a little bit weird. You know, you don't really think bubblegum in beer, but it's all on the nose. And when you sip it, there's kind of like a banana quality that starts to take over. Those banana esters, they really kick up. You can see how it's pieced together the way the brewmaster wanted. All right, so next in line, we have one that I really wanted to check out. So it's a Mangö Kölsch. Now, Kölsch, generally a German-style beer, it's starting to gain a little bit more popularity in the public eye. I love it because it's on the lighter end of the spectrum. If it's hotter outside, go for a Kölsch to start off with. Now, I like Kölsch's because they have a little bit more complexity than like your standard Pilsner, but they're still light. Love that. What we have here is a product from Clown Shoes. Now, Clown Shoes is a brewery based out of Massachusetts. We're in Fort Lauderdale, but typically what they do, they'll share taps. So basically they'll showcase a couple of their items, market their product, and it's good within the beer community to kind of do that. I love it when they do that because it's literally like 1,500 miles away, and I get to sample their stuff right here in front of me. So let's give this a little sippy. It's got the light characteristics that you're looking for out of a Kölsch, but that mango is the one that kind of grips you a little bit. Subtle sweetness, almost like a silent vanilla character to it. So you sip it, you talk, and then it starts to linger, and then you're like, oh wow, that mango's still there. This one's nice. I generally like stuff with this kind of color scheme, where it does have kind of like a little bit of a darker amber tone than the previous one. I like a little bit more head on it, so these bubbles seem to be a little bit more active. The bubbles are great. They release oxygen, they release like the nice smells, so you can really get in there, and that mango jumps out right from the beginning. You get a little bit of orange as well. So any kind of citrus, generally refreshing. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Woo. Get a little bit of funk off of that. See, I already took a little sippy. I'm cheating on you guys, so I know what's going on. My name is Brett. My name is Brett is the name of this beer, and if you know the beer game, whenever you hear Brett or Brettanomyces, you know that it's going to be a little bit funky. It almost has like a wine barnyard characteristic when you think old world wines, like stuff from France, stuff from Spain, the more expensive stuff that fetches a higher price point. They get to mix that into the beer, and that's always interesting because it's generally a little bit more complex, a little heavier. Some people don't like it, but if you like it, you really love it. So it's heavy too. It's heavy. It has a lingering quality to it. So you're having a conversation at the bar, maybe you get into an argument, you make your point, you win, and then you're like, huh, I still taste the beer. And that's interesting because it has a little bit more weight to it. It's got a coating effect, almost kind of like a vanilla oaky quality. If you were to sip like a nice Chardonnay, same thing. It's got a grip to it. Sticks with you too. So if you're thinking kind of one and done, you know, something to get you through the day, this is a nice one. Delish. My name is Brett. It is actually a double IPA. So when you think IPAs, you kind of think of that pine oil quality, so a little bit bitter, a little bit astringent. When you add the Brettanomyces, it totally changes the character of it. Now, they actually added peaches in there as well, so they marketed it as peach cream. And that's interesting because that cream characteristic comes from that oak quality. This is actually a barrel-aged product as well. So you got the Brettanomyces in there, you barrel age it, so it gives it a little bit more complexity, a little bit more weight, cuts back a little bit of that hoppiness that you normally get off of a double IPA. This is still a big boy though. It's 9% alcohol, so it'll put you on your back if you're not paying attention to it. So watch out. And if you can hang, order a couple. For all my Kill Bill fans out there, the Black Mamba. The venom that the Black Mamba delivers is gargantuan. Black Mamba. So like I told you, lighter to darker. That's generally what you're looking for. Look at the color of this. Dark as anything. No way you can see through that. It's literally like they threw Coca-Cola in the glass. So this color is generally reserved for like porters, stouts, things of that nature. This is a stout. So you can taste the alcohol on it. It's almost like they added red wine to a stout. So you kind of get a little bit of that grape quality to it. It also has the barrel aged quality to it. So it all peeks through. It's a little bit lighter than a traditional stout, which is very interesting. It still has a bit of a cola quality to it. And the tertiary note might be coffee, believe it or not. And like coffee is generally like one of the main things that you taste, but it's everything else that kind of swipes at you first, and I think that's really interesting for a stout. You don't really see that too often. Woof. Okay, so Lauderale. Lauderale might stick out to you. Why? Because if you've been watching my videos a couple weeks back, we did a beer dinner. The two different companies that kind of meshed together, Lauderale and Temple Street Eatery. Lauderale, I had a conversation with the brewmaster. His name was Dominic. Awesome guy from up north, made his money somewhere else, went to San Diego for a little while, learned his craft, is now here in Fort Lauderdale making awesome beers. Generally they have different companies come together and kind of showcase what they're offering. So today you have a pizza option, so if you want something to mix in with your beer, they got brick oven pizza right there. It's a mobile brick oven setup, which is pretty interesting. Haven't seen that before, but they're making it available to you. All right, and this leads me to my question of the week. What's your favorite brewery experience that you've had ever? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you like the video, you give me a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned, because every Sunday, something awesome. You know the deal. You keep watching, I'm gonna keep hunting, and I'm gonna see you soon, all right?